Imagination. How many people you know, I mean for real know, made it, got on? Nobody from my city. Detroit? Hell no. I ain't know Eminem. I don't know nobody who did.
Yeah, them waves is for real too.
I know I made it my point to be the one who made it. The one people knew before I made it. To show everybody it was real. I grew up watching Biggie, Mace. I wanted a rollie like Pop, feel me? I wanted money like Master P.
Hey, you see what it is, man? I'm
stunned like the big timers. Wanted to pop champagne, feel me? I wanted to put my crew on, have a label like Rockefeller, put the city on. You know. I started off young, spitting, rapping.
Hey, turn me up.
Trying to be a role model, trying to be signed. I knew I was gonna make it, I just ain't know how. But I knew. My mom taught me early on, this world is what you make it. You create your own environment. It all starts with a vision. What you can imagine, you can create. I came up middle class. Not really having shit to spare, not having no money to spare. Had to work for new clothes, gas money. I always wanted to get my mom what she wanted. You know, cars, Benz, houses, whatever. I ain't have it, but I could see it in my head. I could feel the energy of it. Build a house up on that ass, that's a nice state. Roll my weed on it, that's a nice tray. Say yay, don't we do this every day? Something to that time, like you just had a payday. I don't even know if that makes sense, but it always made sense to me. It was all real to me. My imagination was real to me. The people who used to tell me I was wasting my time or said it wouldn't work out were the people who ain't have shit. They ain't have nothing. It wasn't until after meeting the people I grew up to, getting a chance to meet my idols, work with them, I realized they believe what I believe. Imagining it. Changing the world. Changing their world. A lot of people could imagine, but wouldn't believe it. Couldn't fathom it. Not me. I believe. I had imagination.
Alright, we're gonna get started here.
I got this, buddy.
It's Mike.
Good morning, we're live. Big day today, CPI coming out soon. In like the next bit here. We got like 20 minutes, 25 minutes. Check the chat out. Morning. How we doing today? We were here yesterday. Was anybody here yesterday? The market's pretty much where it was yesterday morning when we were live. Yesterday market was dipping down and it went for buys and then it came back down. CPI comes soon, so brace yourself in case it dumps first on CPI. What if CPI? I'm looking for gold to go up. I'm already in buys, but CPI could bring price down first. What if that happens? It could be a situation where the price drops first, might not shoot it up right away, could drop down to like 75. We've been saying that 875 or even lower, like it could try to fill the zone more, because on the 4 hour it's kind of gone in the zone. Maybe it enters it. Could have volatility down first. Maybe it closes back bullish. Like market could dump down, but then try to close back up bullish on CPI. CPI could push the market in the zone more, and maybe there's an entry there. Otherwise, it's either CPI blasts us up or it kind of gives an entry on CPI. It's kind of one of those scenarios right now. You might have to see if CPI hits up, or CPI might give an entry for buys during it or after, first 30 minutes, first 15, 30 minutes. Some of you guys should be familiar with, news strategies. If you guys see my videos, or if you've hopped on the streams, we often talk about, that first 15, 30 minutes of the news, how it tends to play out. There's a couple videos, posted one recently. Oh, we got some time to wait here. There could be an entry on CPI, so brace yourself for that if price does go down. Could be one of those news situations. If you're familiar with the news strategy, we talk about it here and there. A lot of times in that first 30 minutes, fake out. So that's why CPI could dump price. It could dump it. Doesn't have to shoot up. You have to be kind of prepared for both sides just in case. Be good to be prepared for both sides of thinking. Like the market, obviously on news, can move a lot. It could shoot up, right? But you got to be kind of prepared on, okay, what if it dumps? What does that mean? And maybe that's what I could wait for. Like, okay, it could dump. But that might not be a bad thing if it does dump. That could be where it provides a potential entry if it does drop on the first maybe bit of CPI. Don't really know what's going to happen with this news. So we'll see what comes out here soon. It could, again, price drops. If price dumps, it would end up probably triggering a lot of stop losses and such. Maybe after that, 30 minutes after or a bit after, it could be the buy scenario after the news. A little bit during it, afterwards. That would be a good plan for today. If you're, looking to get in the market today, like you could be in the market and I don't like to use the word hope, but in this case it's like CPI could dump. As traders, it's like we don't always know if it's gonna pump or dump. So as a trader, it's like, yeah, like it could just rip up, it could just go up, it could start an up move from the beginning of the news, start trending up. So good, like an planning of approach on a day like today. You're going to New York, CPI is coming out. It's like, okay, the market looks like buys, but like you can always still sit on your hands, right, in the beginning and say, okay, you know what, I'm gonna go in today with, I know news is coming out today. I'm gonna go in with the mindset of I'm gonna wait 30 minutes 30 minutes for the news and see if it dumps, and then maybe that can be where I get my buy entry instead of worrying about if the news goes up or down. Can always sit on your hands and see if that volatility comes in, flushes people out. That happened. We see that time and time again. NFP. If you guys remember on non-farm payroll Friday, the price in the first 5-15 minutes dropped down, and then it went after. So even if today it just dumps down, maybe into the below the 60s, like it could drop $10, $20. I wouldn't look at that like, oh my gosh, we gotta sell, we gotta sell. Maybe that's like, oh my gosh, this could be setting up for that buy that everyone's looking for, or maybe that buy that I'm looking for. If it does dump, you can always expect that with news. If there's like, let's say there's a setup you see. Let's say you see a setup. If you go over this, the first video, I go over a really good example. The first video I ever did, that's the new one. The first video on this topic that I did, I talk about this with a good example on Euro USD. Later on in the video, so like here for example, this is one of the examples I'm talking about in that video. And you see this chart, this was before the news on Euro USD. You guys got to go check out that video. So if you look at the market here, you have a nice resistance. So a lot of people probably, this is in a nice uptrend. Probably a lot of people buying, looking for buys. News comes out though around that area. So this is when the news came out. So the market's at that area. So market's at that area. That's not the news when it's at the area. Right there. Market's trading at the area before the news. So this is a little shortly before the news. Market is trading at the zone. News comes out. Boom. That's what news did. So it looked like a good buy, right? But then it went bye-bye. So a good buy looked good, right? Looks like a good buy there. And then boom, news comes out. This is during FOMC. But then that exact same candlestick comes back up. So during the news, literally news comes out. And then that exact same candlestick on the news ends up going right back up. This is like literally in the first 30 minutes of the news coming out. That same candlestick, that same exact candlestick is starting that movement, that setup. So you can use news to find entries really at times, like, because that same exact candle forms a wick. It ends up wicking back up. You see here, there's a part where I show it's just one big candlestick dropping down. What's good, Dubai? We got Africa, Dubai. See some, I saw Africa and London earlier, Greece, Medellin. What flag is that? Bahamas? No, I don't even know what flag that is. There, I gotta learn. No, that's not, definitely not Bahamas. Definitely not. I'm totally wrong for sure. What is that? What is that? What is that? What is that? Cyprus. If you hold Bitcoin for over 3-4 years in Cyprus, you don't have to pay. Cyprus has some new Bitcoin news. If you hold Bitcoin for more than 3 years, you're Gucci without selling it. 3-4 years. Might have to move to Cyprus. It's nice out there, right? They got the island. They got islands out there. Let me see here. Small island, yeah. Yeah, small islands. Oh well, yeah. That's a there's just a small island, so there's probably small islands on that small island. But yeah, literally that same candlestick forms a wick. So even like today, that could be a situation like, so I'm saying it could dump today, but could close back up. Tends to happen with these news events. They get a little fishy at times where they'll do these types of things. So think about anyone who's already buying would have got taken out pretty much. Anyone who's already in buys would have got taken out by there. Anyone who was selling that, like imagine people selling now. If you're selling now, you're like, boom, you end up getting screwed after because it went right back up. And then the whole day went up until the next day. So situations like this wick, see this guy right here? Those can form on these news events. Talk about it in that video, right? We already see gold dropping before the news. So it's already pushing down pre-news, right? So even if they dump it on the news, it's already pushing down. There might be big buys setting up. Maybe like last time buys really set up was FOMC. FOMC was this candle, right? It formed a wick with a long wick on the candlestick. So 4 hour, yeah, we're already pushing down in the zone now. Now we're in the zone more. So like I said, it could go down. Like it might be setting up for buys. It's pre-news dropping. News might drop it if they want to buy it. If they're gonna push price up, they're gonna drop it down first. If they're knowingly they're gonna buy it, bring it up. They usually bring price down first. So news could still extend it. You see, it's about 8:20 now. So futures market just opened for gold. That's why volume just came in. Futures market opens up in like 30 seconds. Like it's opening right now. So futures traders are dumping price right now because the futures futures traders, they right now this minute is when they start actively trading for gold. This minute you'll usually see the market this minute 8:19 8:20 move a lot. Volume a lot of times this minute can come in it's futures. It's a futures market. Oh, don't spam the chat, chill. Can't see the chat. Wait, yeah, hold up. I gotta see what it's called. Gotta look. Might be big buys. Let's see. Or is it big sells? Is it buys? Trend shift. Who knows? Like I'm still looking at this on the 4 hour. And yeah, pre-news. News might wick up. Now we're dropping pre-news in that zone. This happened at FOMC. If you guys remember FOMC, I went live for FOMC. That candlestick down there was FOMC. Man, news hits in like 8 minutes. Yeah, bro. That's why I said brace yourself. It's in the zone we've been kind of talking about. Coming down to like that area. Previous resistance. Pretty much like touching now. Starting to pretty much like touch that previous resistance. The low is down here. So like previous support is down here in the market. This is where we have most of our support here. you look, we're coming into, I'm on the line chart right now. That's why it looks like that. If you look right here, we're coming into a previous kind of area where structure created resistance, broke out, so around that low. It could still drop off from the looks of it here. Coming into that area, had some bounces yesterday. Yesterday there was some bounces, some moves up, but now if you look at the line chart here, when you go to the candles, you have like you go a candle and you can see here where I'm circling, that's a wick. But if I go there on a 1 hour or a 30-minute, it starts to turn more into a candle. Right? If I go on a 30-minute, I just broke below there, retested it, took out these lows. So that's that wick. On a 4 hour, it's a wick. Now the market's like testing. If we go to a line chart, for instance, you could see where these kind of pointy parts are. I like to call them peaks. Some of you guys know. So if you look at that, the market's coming into this area. Still could be setting up for buys today, realistically, with the way price is dropping. Usually if they want to buy if they want to buy gold, they'll usually sell it off first before they buy it. I'm gonna get in buys on gold. You can wait 5-10 minutes after news, but I'm gonna get in some entries on gold around this 28.75. It is higher risk situation environment. So brace yourself. I'm gonna get in buys on gold around this 75 area. Pre-news. I don't always do that, but price is dropping pre-news, and like my bias was bullish for today. I think buys still maybe setting up. Where's the lows we go? Like the 60s. Hopefully I don't get wrecked on news here. Yeah, when you go 4 hour, so I'll clean this up. So it looks messy now. So see here, I'll put a line. See this wick? So there's like a whole area here. If you go on the line chart, it's just more down here, obviously. So, boom. So that, see this wick, I'll highlight it a bit brighter. When you break that wick down, so if you go like a 1 hour and see, okay, so the market you can see came into that actually. Actually, if you go to a 30-minute, it's even, so you have that, you can see more of the candle, the body there where the market retests. And then it breaks down. Line chart can help at times, but like the wicks, so parts where there's a wick could be on a smaller time frame, more defined like candle. So like right now when you're on like 4 hour, like okay, line chart, market's really back into that area we've been analyzing kind of last 2 days, pushing into it close. So I think as long as kind of today maintains that, stays in there, could potentially try to force a move up, back up to like 2,900. The last big bullish setup was FOMC candlestick. Interesting down here. Started off pretty bearish and then just completely went the other direction the rest of the day. Price even retraced back, then went up. So the volume from here, the market's like finding the volume from here. Because like the last big buy was FOMC on this candle, which the market traded into. It traded into that candle. So now it's like trading into there, where we were when we traded into like a NFP basically. You can see there was that sell candlestick here, which actually turned into a buy. And then we trade back into there. And we run up. So from there, we went up. One move. Now, we're coming back into there. Well, I could pip and dip it. That was the right time to trigger a buy. I got 30 pips real quick, but... Yesterday it was buys, New York. Is today buys, New York. So we'll see what news does. Again, you could look for buys pre-news, just be less risky, or wait 15-30 minutes after the news and see if, you know, there's buy entries. I'll probably call them out. If there's buy entries 15-30 minutes after the news, I'll call them out. Entry number one. Kind of risky manner here. Price dropping. It's been dropping all morning. So London bearish, like Tokyo bearish, London bearish. Brace yourself. Close this. I'm gonna close this, look for a different entry, and just wait it out. 15-30 minute strategy. Could still wait. I'm gonna wait, find another entry. Wait it out. Let's wait 15-30 minutes and see. Yeah, news like same thing happened on Friday. News came up positive and gold, like gold. Yeah, all three came up positive. So let's just wait a bit. Crypto probably not good for Bitcoin. Damn, crypto gonna. But this is how they flush people out too. If you've been on streams with me, we've seen news come out positive and still vice versa happen in the market. So wait it out, maybe 15-30 minutes. 30 minutes from now there might be an entry, but just gonna play it patient. Still could wick back up. Gonna wait it out like 30 minutes, see what happens with price. Like I said, if it drops on the news, that doesn't necessarily mean it's a sell. Like if the news drops it, doesn't mean I'm really looking for sells so much, right? It could still, you know, maybe hold the zone, wick down. Like there could be buys on the news, right? It could potentially maybe 15-30 minutes after. So we'll see. what happens today. Because this candle could always maybe close even bullish. We have, what, hour 27 minutes till this candle. So in 30 minutes, there'll be an hour left on this candle. So it's kind of good time to see if it can look more bullish, close back in the zone. Yeah, still, like, still in this area, still gonna dabble. I'm gonna watch this for 30 minutes, maybe an hour, and see how price behaves in here, in this area. If it closes back more bullish, then there'll be maybe a better buy confirmation. I'm gonna chill for a bit though. Let that maybe set up. Yeah, it's still just playing around here. We'll wait. Got time to wait here. Silver's testing this low. If silver holds that low, could reinforce some support. I gotta watch that too. Not gonna trade silver, but just gonna keep an eye on it at this low. Also a low down here. Yeah, silver's coming to test the low, so I always kind of like to look at silver on the flip side, because if silver holds this low, then gold will alternately turn more bullish too. NFP had this candle. NFP, if you were live NFP, remember it pumped up and then everyone was like, yeah, it's pumping, and then it dumped 30 minutes later. If you're here NFP, it's the same candle the dollar did on NFP, and then in 30 minutes after it dumped, but it started to go up. We caught buys on NFP. I would wait. I'm gonna wait for gold to just chill around for a bit. There's no signal right now. Might even have to watch it for the day because Powell speaks later. Sell setups, unless you're, I don't know. No, I don't see any sell setups. From here, not really. No, not for me. I did remember yesterday morning. It was dumping yesterday morning, and then it went up hours later. Like, remember yesterday morning how it was dropping, and then hours later it went up. Yeah, when you look at the 4 hour, you can still chill today. Look at, like, it's still low, low. Previous resistance. I gotta get a good 4 hour bullish close. It hasn't really been giving that. It gave one. So I was waiting for like a good 4 hour candle to close bullish like yesterday. I still was just waiting for that, really. If we can get a good 4 hour candle bullish, like so, we have red candles really almost last night. Like this one was flipping bullish and then So let's kind of try twice to give like a support candle. So that's really what we're waiting for, as if the 4-hour can close bullish. We're waiting for that more so. I said that last night. If you can watch the market today for the 4-hour to slow down, I might take a set of 4-hour candles. So right now it's red, red, red. So pretty much I'll show you like this one. We're pretty much waiting for a candle like that to start forming. That might take some time, to be honest, with the way it's moving right now. Or like this down here. Or I was going over a few last night, something like this, where, for instance, so if we can get a 4-hour, and it's just that simple, we'll wait for that. Something like this, where we see the candle turning over on the 4-hour right here. I'm circling it. Get more of that type of candle forming. Like a close, a support candle. That could be, like if you can watch the markets today, like keep an eye on the charts today, like on a 4-hour basis, 4-hour candles. And kind of keep an eye on if the 4-hour starts giving like one of those candlesticks. That would be a better confirmation. That might take some time. It's either going to be, sometimes it's quicker, sometimes it's slower. Overall, like you could see, we're still kind of in that zone that I drew, right to the left on the line chart. The line chart zone. Price is dropping. Price usually drops a lot on the news in the beginning, and it does that a lot to find buys, scare traders, like, oh my god, it's a sell, I can't buy, or vice versa. So like when you look at the line chart to the left, again, this is a 4-hour. If you look left, you could see still like in that structure. 4-hour candle has a wick forming. Not much here. It's still showing like bearish on the 4-hour, but I'm going to keep it circled so you guys remember. Something like this, even smaller, would be better. Or if this wick, if this candle can close up even more, or let's go to the other one. If we can get a smaller candlestick body. There's 6 4-hour candles in a day, so waiting for one can, or a couple, like waiting for the close, because you could have a set of bearish candles. So this is like a good zone where if we get, you know, like a 4-hour bullish, to me that's more like, okay, something to watch for today, even if it has like a wick on it. If we get a rejection candle in this area, even if there's a longer wick, I like to call them support candles in this case, because we're looking like a green candle would be a support candle. It's what started to happen yesterday morning. It happened pretty quick yesterday. It happened a bit quicker than I was expecting it to happen yesterday. Yesterday morning, next candle just started to rip up. So ultimately, that's a lot of times what I like to watch the chart for, especially if it's on the 4-hour. We'll keep an eye on it throughout the day. Check up on how much time is left on the 4-hour, because there's only 6 candles that make up the day on the 4-hour, right? It's not a lot, but those candles, 4 hours is a long time, right? But it's not a lot of candles that really can make up that day of movement. So if you can watch this area, you know, watch price, because even the next candle could be a red one. Watch for more of a green candle, whether it's a smaller one or a medium-sized one. Then that tells you, okay, the selling activity is likely over, and market could start a reversal or a retracement. Maybe back up to here before like sells again. Or it's a big buy the dip scenario. There's still a lot of news going on in the world. See how that's gonna come to conclusion. But even like retracement doesn't have to be like full on reversal. I would wait for that 4-hour candle, if anything, today. Let price just do its thing. It's the 4 hours pretty easy to watch. It just takes time. That's the only pain. That's kind of the thing that's the maybe the harder part about it is just keeping it. It's just the time that it takes. But it's not a lot of candles, so you could have a series of red candles down. Like you could have 3 candles that go down. That makes up 12 hours, good amount of time. And then you get a green candle, so then you got that's another 16 hours right there. Next green candle, next green candle. Support's better. So why the 4 hour? Because well, when you look at when you look at your time frames, where's the 4 hour? Is it closer to the minutes or is it closer to like the days and the weeks, right? So it stands more between a concrete time frame. Let's use the word concrete. That's why. So if we have a singular candle can mean a lot more on the 4 hour because let's say it's a higher time frame, right? It can mean more in that case. Yeah, I like buy the dips today. And if you've been looking to buy gold, it's like, and you've been buying it at tops and bottoms, this is a better place to try to locate yourself. I'm gonna probably be scaling in buys and just try to do the same plan I had yesterday. Yesterday's plan almost worked. Remember I said yesterday morning, I'm gonna buy and just hold for the day. See if we can get that up move today. I think I'm gonna focus on the same plan I literally approached the market with yesterday. Yesterday, the buys worked yesterday. They didn't stick for us. It went up to, I even said I'm probably going to hold till like 1 p.m. Remember? I said maybe next 2 hours. The plan did work yesterday. I tried to hold longer than I should have yesterday. Yeah, watch price. Like, look how it's reacting. Like, if people are buying gold, they usually buy it on these bigger dips lately we've seen. That's how we've been trading the last month, over a month now. So if you've been not getting the best entries on gold, like these are the times I try to look for my entries if I'm looking for a buy, is when the market's dropping, not when it's going green candles. See, most traders buy on green candles, like when it's already made a couple, maybe when it's already pushed up. I'm that guy trying to buy when this is dropping, right? Like when it's making that retracement. Try to locate myself in a better spot, right? Yeah, see, it's still like, if you go line chart, you look at line chart here. I mean, look at the line chart on gold. It came literally to my zone. Literally came tapped in there and it's bouncing back above it. Remember I said if it maybe comes down, and what if it closes back above? It could wick down maybe and end up closing back above. Remember what I said before. So usually the first direction is fake. Usually the first direction the news does is fake. It's like temporary, not fake. It happens. Like it's real. No, it's real. It happens, right? What I mean by fake is temporary. Yeah, temporary. It's usually a fake out. A lot of times the first impact can be a fake out. Some traders like to go with the direction of the first candle. So there's really like 2 ways traders trade news. Kind of 3. Some traders will trade breakouts. They'll find a high and low and just put a sell stop or a buy stop and catch the impact. There's traders who like to look at, okay, what direction does the news make? And then trade with that direction. They like to say, okay, it was a sell. They watch for the first pullback and they sell the first pullback. There's traders that do that. And there's traders like me who think kind of like opposite of the news. Like, oh, it's kind of a fake out, like, because I've seen it so many times. I've seen it so many damn times. Imagine when you're on the charts 10 years and you know what I know. And imagine how many times you've seen these things. You're like, these damn market makers, they always push this thing down before they bring. Imagine how many times I've taken a buy and then like I've seen them push it down on the news, and then I get out of my buy and then I look at it 4 hours later and I'm like, oh my gosh. Imagine the amount of times. That's why like I try not to be too emotional in this situation. Because if we got in buys and it was going like easy right away, it would be like happy times for everyone. But we get in buys and it's like, oh my God, price is going down. It's like, what the fuck, what's going on? So you don't want to get so emotional in these times, because it's like, okay, price is going down. Maybe that sets up for a buy. Remember I said before we got on, like kind of started the news talk, it could set up for a buy with the news. There could be entry on CPI. That always happens. They always tend to do this fishy stuff. Market makers, they dump it. They were dropping it before price. They were dropping it pre-news too. So what? They want to just keep dumping it? I don't know. You know? Look at the line chart. Zone. It's above that now, see? See what they're doing? Faking people out, making people think it's a sell. It was a buy the dip again. It's buy the dip. ETH? Nah. Right now? Oh, I thought you meant 2100 right now. It might go back down actually to test that low. Like you're not wrong thinking that. Yeah, like it could. I was like, no way right now. Like, whoa. Yikes. Like, not yet. Like, chill. Yeah, like that wick. It could go down. Yeah, it's 2100. Yeah, I know news came out positive too, but they do that too. Like, they'll do that too. They'll make the news positive, so everybody's like, oh my gosh, it has to go, this has to go up, this has to go down. And then 20-30 minutes later, price could be starting to drop. Yeah, like, I wonder if the dollar will reverse. Yeah, positive release. They do that a lot too with the news. A lot of times you'll see like Trump speaking again. Man, this guy's going to town. Yeah, that was some good news for the dollar though. Wonder what USD CAD's doing. Spiking up. Currency pairs on a melt off. A lot of times if the yen pairs go down, you'll see some more bullishness for gold. Yen pairs went up. A lot of times when yen pairs go down, you see some more bullishness for gold. Yeah, that's why sometimes in the news you got to be a little bit aggressive sometimes, because it's quick. Like I'll admit, like some news might be like kind of scary for new traders. Sometimes you got to be quick and just kind of know, like, okay, a lot of like I talk about in this video or the new one I posted, it's like sometimes just knowing like what happens in the first 15-30 minutes. If it goes down in the first 15 minutes of the news, 10-15 minutes, 30 minutes, I'll look for buys. If it goes up, vice versa. Like, it could be that simple way of just approaching it without thinking too much more, because the more you think, the more you might get emotional to pull the trigger on, okay, if it does this, I'll do this. It's like, if it does this, I'll do this. But if you think too much, you might just be like, if it does this, I'll do this. I guess things get in the way, right? So when you're applying something in the markets, why didn't I buy? I'm in a buy. I'm in buys, don't worry. Hopefully it stays up. When you're applying something in the market, you got to be I got out of the first buy I took, and then I said I'm gonna just look for a lower entry. Hopefully it sticks. Like I'm gonna be scaling in buys today. That's my plan for the day on gold. It's either a big swing starting from this area. Need this thing to push back up today. Keep an eye, like, with news trading, it's like just one plan. It'd be simple, one plan. If price does this, I'll do this. Once you see 100 news events, like once you see a few hundred news events, once you see them, more. Watch. I don't watch the AUD and NZD ones, but even watch those ones. I don't maybe not to trade them, but just to see. Like, try to watch all the news events just to see, because they all do the same stuff. Even the AUD ones, the NZD ones, a lot of them do the same stuff. Gold could be discount area. Yeah, if you're looking at buying, like a lot of traders buy wrong because they'll be fearful in these times. So, like here, for instance, most traders were probably like, gold's bearish, it's dropping, I gotta keep looking for sells. Meanwhile, the smart traders were like, okay, this is maybe setting up for a buy. Like all of these drops on gold, this is the biggest one we've seen. All of these drops have led to like a buy setup. So we've just seen like a big drop on gold. This could still create that buy setup. It could still fuel a buy setup. Down, right? If you go on the 4 hour, you can see them pretty clearly. And we've done training on this, guys, for those who have tuned in, right? Subscribe if you're new to the channel. Some of you guys might be new here. Maybe this is your first stream, but there's a lot of people who come here every other day or every day. And a lot of people have been on the streams, so we've talked about this. Every time it's retraced like this, you've turned into a good buy. So if this retracement, like you can see where it's going to, it's going like the line chart area. We know this would be like, if this doesn't hold, like if this retracement doesn't turn into a buy, then we know, okay, maybe there's structure shifting. Yeah, 30-minute is looking good, bottom wick in that zone. Maybe they buy it up until Friday, Wednesday right now. Still hasn't given that counter trend line break down, up. So I mean, it could still close. That would be it closing above the trend line. That would be the 4 hour. If we close above the trend line and get like a new high, that's when the 4 hour would start flipping. But I'd already be in trades before then, because I'm kind of aggressive in this situation, because I've been looking for these buys. So if this pushes up, the 4 hours are going to start turning green more. That would be like closer to getting like a 4 hour. If you got for those of you guys who might use like the counter trend line breakout strategies too. So I know some people like to use those. You know, break above you use your counter trend line, you get your pullback. A lot of people like to use that as an additional confirmation. Maybe some of you guys, even like that. That would be like, for me, the 4 hour would be green at that point. Maybe flipping bullish. It did have respect to the zone, like you know, quick. Like it's usually what happens on the news. Like the zone here. Remember, I did say it could maybe go down in the beginning of the news. This doesn't mean it's definite that it's gonna go up from here, but it's showing some evidence that, like, hey, okay, we're forming a wick here, showing a little bit of evidence, right? or maybe we're getting a bigger move up that we've been looking for, right? We're looking for that big swing. It's starting to show evidence. Like, I'm not saying, yeah, it's just going to rip up 2,900 by the end of the day, but, you know, if the 4 hour sticks, maybe there's something here, right? Like we've been talking about last couple days. If it gets back, if it's coming back to the 28s, 28,800, the 2880, the 80s, and if we look at line chart, we got left structure there, so to the left, right? Got to the left there. We're above that now. We created a wick. See how we created a wick? Remember what I taught you guys at the beginning of the session. Smash that like button because I gave you guys a good little lesson here. This is what that candle just looked like. Remember that? So that's different. Trading news live. I haven't traded live news event in a minute, man. I gotta get used to this again. It's been years. It's been years since I've traded news live. It's like my first month in years doing live news trading. It's different when you're on your own in the dark. When you have $10,000 in your account and you're ready to hammer buys and say it's either I'm losing 10,000 today or it's when you're alone. We gotta get that guy will come. That guy will once I get streaming more. Eventually, that guy will be here. We gotta find that Evan will show up one day. I got a few Evans. There's a few different Evans. I was right. Come on. Like, come on. Don't be. That's why you can't be fearful too. Yesterday was buy. Remember, I said all the evidence too. Like yesterday was buys. Maybe today's buys. You listen to the little things I say. Yesterday was buys, guys. Or, you know, maybe, little things I say. Yesterday was buys. Maybe they're gonna buy it today. They're dipping in. You know. Yeah, we gotta bring out the dark Evan. The dark side will come one day. Look how the 4 hour just closed. Look how the 4 hour just closed. Look it. Come on. Come on. Like, so I don't get fearful. That's why if something's happening and it, don't write it. Everyone is writing in the chat. Like, it's going down. I'm like, can't be fearful in these situations. I try to keep calm. But when I see Bob in the chat, when Bob's like, bro, this shit's dropping. I'm like, oh shit. Bob's not happy. I'm joking. I'm just playing. I'm used to it. Yeah, she's ripping. She's ripping. I told you guys, man, it could be a buy the dip scenario. I always teach you guys this stuff. Temporary direction. It might be looking like a sell into this zone. Like, let's see, like a 15-minute looks like, yeah, it has a zone here where it might have like scalping reactions down. Ultimately, in this scenario, you'd want this to push up, make a new high, pull back, or pull down from here, retest the zone, retest some volume here. Ultimately, you want this to maybe come down to give you an entry, right? Or to push up through the high, right? And again, come back, give you an entry. Anybody catch a buy? Anybody catch a buy? Tell me Skids obviously caught a buy. Probably Tim. I know Skids is probably just fucking ripping it right now. Probably. That song, yeah, I like that song. What was it? It sounded cool. There's one part of it.
You know the big problem with trading courses? Buying trading courses can be very expensive, but you don't know if they're even going to work for you. And so I'm going to flip that pup.
This guy. like this beat. I don't know, it puts me in, I don't know. Like ultimately, this could come down and provide another entry. That would be nice. If it comes down, or if it breaks, makes a new high. Could bring another entry. 75 would be nice. 75, 73. I like this beat. That part, I don't know. I could listen to this before the gym, and I would get into mode. Turn on a different mode, listening to this before the gym. There's a song playing too loud, yeah. I know, I got music playing. I'm just chilling. Yeah, maybe it comes down 75, 73, but sounds like dinosaurs, no? It's a little too loud, eh? Yeah, like I said, guys, probably buy. I even said last night, it'll probably if I said last night, if London drops, it's gonna be New York buys too. It's the same thing 2 days in a row. It could just rip up. Look at how the 4 hours flipping. If it comes back to 75 or 73, to look for entries. Might not come back. Yeah, I know news was positive on the dollar, but like you're looking also at gold too. Like gold's not a currency pair. Like you're looking at an asset. You're not looking at a currency pair. So like when you're looking at a Euro USD, yeah, different. It's a currency pair. It's a currency. Gold's an asset, commodity. It's different. Guys, I'm in buys already. I've been tapping my phone here. Like if you have like, I'm in buys. I got in a buy before the news, unfortunately, so I had to take another one. I got some entries at 2873, 2873, 2872, 2874, 2877, 2878, 2880, 2881, 2882. I'm all over on this one. No cap. I've been looking for that. If this swings up, we'll be like, damn. Look at the 4 hour. Maybe it's flipping, turning. If it comes down into the 70s, I'd say, like, if you get a pullback down to like 73, 75, you have a good entry. 75. That's so 28.75. The low that just got made. Especially if it can come up and create a high. Like, this could come down and test the low around 73.75. If this can go up and then even do that same thing, it's still the same. It would still be a good low to test, 73.75. Kind of just depends on price structure here. It's looking like it's trying to shift. Mohammed, 28.66. Good job. if you're here, like if you're plugging in, you're educating yourself, you understand. Like this isn't something to just come on. Like this is for traders. If you want to be like, these streams are for traders. Like if you're a trader, you probably understand a lot of stuff I'm talking about. If you're coming on here just looking for a signal every day, then you got a lot of work to do in the trading market, right? If you're just, because you could come on, honestly, it could be any session. There's a signal. It could be any session where it's like, yo, there's a buy. So like, if you're a trader, trust me, these sessions will be for you. If you're at the new level, if you just started trading, I would go through my videos, go through the YouTube videos, try to get familiar with the language of trading. Trading is like speaking a different language. It's like learning a whole new language. You got to learn different terms, different terminology, different concepts. And then once you start going through those things, you start to learn about yourself. You start to learn more other characteristics like emotions. Like, oh man, I might lack patience, or oh man, I might have FOMO, or you know, I might lack confidence or something, fearful thing, little things like, right? Little tweaks you always got to kind of make too along the way. If this is your first year trading, you just started trading, you want to make money in the market, I'll tell you the best way to make money in trading is to learn. Because once you learn, you can take away the L, and then you get earn. If you want to learn something, or if you want to earn money from something, you're going to have to really go through a process of learning it first. Right? You take the word learn, and you take away the L, what do you get? What happens when you take off the L on the word learn? What word do you get? So you want to earn something, you got to learn something, right? $4 we got. So what's so chat, what is the candlestick that just closed, the red one? What's that called? Type in the chat. What's the candlestick called? To learn how to lose. Oh yeah, you got to learn how to lose too. I like that. Damn, new solution coming in with the fire caption right there. What candlestick is that? Type in the chat. What you got here? Got a hammer. Yeah, you got a bullish hammer pin bar. That's what you got right there. I don't know that one song. I'm just gonna keep replaying that part, honestly. I'm probably gonna replay that part all day today. Just have it on repeat. Yeah, this will probably rip up today. They bought the dip. That's what they're. These, see what they do. This is what they do. I'm literally wearing all white today. Yeah, even my pants. It's an all white day. So I'll be a blue day. I need this to go to 2,900, and your boy is in it. Your boy will be in it. Yeah, it's ripping up. See what they do? That's a hammer, yeah. I mean, if you didn't catch buys, it's kind of hard to say where to enter now. Like prices looking pretty bullish at the moment. 4 hours flipping green. Wouldn't be surprised if by 1 p.m., like hours from now, this thing's trading higher. Silver held the low. Remember, yeah, silver held that low. See? The low silver is testing. Silver held the low. I did talk about that too. Silver's pushing up. Can this keep going up? Obviously they're high, but there's a lot of demand in metals right now. A lot of demand still for gold because of what it is, what's going on in the world. It's only February 12th and all this tariff stuff's, I said last night, remember? Trade wars, tariffs. Who caught buys? W's in the chat if you caught buys. I need a 10K day here. If this goes to 2,900, I might make like 10K. I'm up 4,000 right now. I was just at 4. I ripped some entries. If this goes like 2,900, I'll be up like 10K. Come on. Channel it. Channel it. Just gotta channel it. My TP's on Friday. If these buys stick, my TP's on like Thursday, Friday, tomorrow. If they hold, if it breaks up, TP could be TP. If this sticks, could be tomorrow. It could be TP, not 2,900 tomorrow. Whatever price is tomorrow. Could be higher than that, to be honest. Inner circle. Wait, inner circle is just getting started. Like we're just starting right now. Like it's just kind of kicking off. March. Like if it sticks on the if this 4 hour is flipping, understand maybe the next 4 hour goes up or set of 4 hours. Like if that was a good look at the candlestick before us. So like you guys said, it's a hammer, pin bar. Has a few different names for it: pin bar, hammer, morning star, a bearish one's shooting star. That's a bullish candlestick behind us. This right here is starting to form a bullish candle. You could try to see if 4 hour sticks for the day. Like 2,900 would be a good. If it gets above, it needs to get above 2,994, 2,995. There's a high right here that it's trying to get above. If it can get above this high and break this high, clear above this high right now, which is around 2,994. If it breaks above this high, that's a BOS on the 1 hour here. If we can clear this, Trying to get like a BOS here at this high. If it can get above there, that's a really good sign. If it gets above this high here, if it's able to close above this high, more solidified. It's able to give us a stronger close above that high right there, because then that gives you a market structure shift from a high to a low, or you took out a low, but then you make a higher high, right? You create a higher high, right? So creating a push out of here will be good, because then it really tells you the bulls are in control. Tells you who's in control, and if you know who's in control, and you're on the right side of the market, then you're good. If it can really clear this high, I'm gonna use a funny word there. Nah. Funny. Oh, my mind. If I can get above there, I'm watching. Oh, that's funny. I almost killed myself there. It's about how Hollywood got me good last night. 29.50. That'd be like probably like a 40K. Oh, that'd be beautiful. I'm at 4K right now. If it gets to 2,900, I'll be up about 10K. So, fuck, 29.50. What would we be up then? Damn. Yeah, like, so if it can, like, cause from the bottom we got support, right? We got 4 hour kind of solidifying itself, showing support. 1 hour, you got that wick. Look at that wick on the 1 hour. We need to get above that high. We need to like push above that high. That would be good to happen. Worst case, even market comes down back into the zone. That'd be, if you're in buys, that would be kind of worst case right now, but still maybe set up again. It might be a let your winners run situation. Like if you've been looking for buys on gold all month and you've had buys, if you've had buys on gold all month, last month, you know, and you look at those buys, it would have taken help holding them longer to get the maximum of, you know, a lot of the entries we found in the month. There's a lot of good entries we found in the month that price really ran from. This might be an area where that bigger motion is in setup. Silver broke the high. Silver broke this high right here. Silver just broke this high on the 4 hour. Silver just broke a high. That's a good sign to see. Sort of like a good, you know, we got a lot of, you know, it shows some metals. Just like because the metals, silver, metal, gold, metal. The more I see silver go up, the more I'm like, okay, gold's going to keep going with that. A lot of times there can be a little bit of inverse between them. Silver held that low. Silver showing more of like a bullish structure too. This has definitely been a good, if you're not as good as buys, like there's good market conditions to get better at buys too. I think in the last month it's been obviously a good buying market for gold. It could still come down to test the low, right? Like rebalance a bit. Close higher than 29.87. This will be higher than daily open. Could still come down, try to rebalance a bit. You can kind of see what I'm drawing here. At the most, that would be what I see, like at the most if price comes down. 28.87, someone mentioned daily open high. Yeah, that's like here. Oh, nice. Yeah, true right there. Even like right there where someone wrote in the chat like 2085, 2087. And it could still keep the buyers like in control even on like if you get a good 5-minute, 15-minute pullback. I don't know, because we can kind of see buyers look like they're more in control right now. So like in a stage like this, you want to look for pullbacks, entries, maybe try to find something where like literally price dropped all from Tokyo to London, even consolidated before New York. News ran down and they leg it up, creating that move up. So they clearly bought the dip and made the dip too with liquidity. Anyone who was in buys, remember I even took an $800 L that I didn't need to. So I was some liquidity. Shit. Damn. I was like sick about it. I was like, I'm out. Remember that's how I got in a trade. I was like, I'm out. I quickly. I was like, what if this turns into 2 racks real quick? 3. So I consolidated here and then ran down, punched up. So like it could try to rebalance, hold the buys still overall from what it looks like right now. You'd also want to see silver just keep going up. The more silver keeps going up too, better sign. So like, yeah, overall, kind of a counter trend line break starting to trying to get that like that down trend line. Mine's drawn ugly. Starting even like that, see that counter trend line. Starting to kind of get above it, like on the 1 hour. Trying to shift structure up. You have to watch price. I don't know what price is gonna do. If it comes down, like what I've been drawing, what I've been saying, if it comes down to 28.75, like watch price. If it comes down to this low, if it tests the low, it could come down to try to test the low. Well, like everything I said before the session happened too, like we might go down for the first 15 minutes of the news, and then maybe they're buying the dip. You look at structures that come down on an angle, structures that come down, retracements is what they're known as, right? They come down on an angle. These retracements or dips, they could be on certain angles, right? That's why a lot of people like to use trend lines. Because you can kind of get like a retracement that has like a down angle, like a downwards angle to it, right? Like see that this is a good one here, but you got like a fake out there. See that little fake out, and then boom, like see that? There's a fake out. It goes up, breaks it, and then boom. But then it still goes up after. So you got these retracements. You'll often see a lot of traders like to draw lines like this on retracements. Because like when they break the retracement, it's like a lot of times the market goes in that direction up. Like if you look at a lot of these downwards, these down moves, right? They all have a big breakout up after. Recent, like this one's a good one right here. Right, where you can see the angle this is on. It's down, it's dipping. There's several dips inside of there. You even get some buyers, right? 1, 2, and then the third. Well, you have this push down, right? See the angle it's coming on. And you can see that expansion up, right? So a lot of traders like to draw lines like that. We call them we call it the counter trend line. Like see here, oh yeah. She might just rip. Yeah, bro, like it might just rip. Yeah. I know how you feel. I don't want it to go down either. Just maybe don't look at it like your winners run. I might get off, go play some Call of Duty, keep myself distracted a bit, you know? Distract myself a bit, because I want to hold a swing. If you've been on all week with me, you know I've been trying to look for a buy swing so I can make quick 10, 20K, right? Maybe not a quick. I've been talking about this like past 2 nights at nighttime. Trying to catch this buy swing. I think behind the dip. I'm up 4,800 now. If it goes, yeah, 2,900 would be nice. Like, it's time now. It's 9:30. You're looking at time now because you're trading a 4-hour setup too, in a way. So it's like, okay, if this 4 hour sticks, it's time for the 4 hour to really move, right? 4 hours, right? Man, stock market opening soon. Well, yeah, good point. I don't know. Does it dip? Well, news is positive on the dollar, but look at dollars dipping now. Remember, just because news comes up positive doesn't mean price. So most traders are gonna look at news is positive. I gotta buy the dollar. So most traders, remember, but the populace of most traders, I mean millions of traders, are going to be looking at the chart the same time you are, and they're going to see news came out positive. So what are they going to think? I got to sell this then. I got to buy this then, right? Because news is positive. I got to sell Euro USD. Well, now Euro USD is reversing up, right? Powell's just talking about, pretty much it's just day 2 of what he said yesterday, the monetary policy statement, and then gonna get interviewed. Continuation of yesterday.
We are moments away from the start of trading on a very exciting day because futures are off 1% or more, depending on the major average of your choice. You can see the S&P future right there, bang on 1%. Well, now a little lower. The NASDAQ down a little bit more than 1%. Futures, this is futures, 1.5% for the small stocks for the Russell. There you see, well, you saw, for a moment, executives at Cosmopolitan magazine. They're ringing the bell because it's the love issue. Hey, Mac Culkin is on the cover with Brenda's song. That's pretty cool. Over at the NASDAQ market site, JetBlue is ringing the bell. Their stock is down 70% over the last 5 years. So hopefully they get a little bit of lift from this. Katie, in terms of, do you subscribe to Cosmo, by the way?
I don't subscribe to Cosmo. I look at it in the grocery store. I actually just flew JetBlue to and from Louisiana, and it was an okay experience, but stock not really reflecting that. Anyway, let's talk about these major
Powell,
averages,
like
because
yesterday was pretty long. Like he got asked a lot of questions. Like he did his statement, and then just it was long. Like I didn't watch it all. Like I got off, and it was still on after, and then Trump spoke later. Trump, it was meeting with King of Jordan. But I don't always try to overthink of like things that are out of my control. I just focus on like what I see a lot. It's like, what's Powell gonna say? I don't know. Because I don't know a lot of, even if you listen to these things, you're gonna be like, what are they even talking about right now? Some things you might be able to key in onto and be like, oh, okay. It's definitely fundamentals aren't my strong suit for trading. I don't know. I think so Jerome Powell testifies. That's in 30 minutes too. Same thing yesterday. You know what happened yesterday? Maybe different questions. Trump, I don't know what Trump is. Maybe the continuation of what he did yesterday too. But as for gold, looking strong.
And then finally, Shanali was talking about the shares earlier. They're down 15% lift. Gave a disappointing outlook for the current quarter, saying it's cold out there. And when it's cold, apparently people don't book cars as much. Does that make any sense to you?
It doesn't make sense. I needed a car this morning. It's snowing, and I couldn't find
More
one.
often when it's cold.
Maybe it's an excuse of seeing.
Breaking that high. That's a... Oh yeah, that's just an important structural high here. Are getting above, see?
Closer look with Bloomberg Technology.
These highs.
Carolyn Hyde.
Getting above it now, see? Remember what I was saying? That's a good sign. It shows you just there's more buyers dominance too. Price is really potentially building up here for a bigger move up. Still potentially even on the 4 hour.
Citibank, wasn't that the whole thing in the city?
I've been bullish on gold all week, like looking for more of the buys. If you've been tuning in, you know that.
Okay. The point is,
Who caught buy? Is anyone in buys? Did anyone catch buys? Type in the chat. Let me see the chat. Did anyone catch any trades? Type in the chat. Let me know. Let me know in the chat. Or post in Discord.
So they've lost that deal with Delta, which has been crimping their forward-looking guidance. They're also just seeing that they're having to compete hard on.
Damn meme coins.
You've got a record amount of people riding using NIF, more than 24 million. Why? Because people like locking in the price of the future. Look at inflation today. We want more price transparency, so people want to lock in when they're going to the airport. So they actually did pretty well on their fourth quarter and their full year as a whole. When you look at fiscal for the 2024, revenue was up 31%. It was up.
Post in Discord. I want to. Yeah, post in Discord. Tag me too, so I could see. So I get the notification.
Right now down about 3%, as Shanali points out in our chat. Let's talk about super.
Not enough lots. One of those. Well, maybe it rips up by 1 p.m. A lot of times in this scenario. So from my experience, you'll always hear me say 1 p.m. Some of you guys might have caught on to that by now. Like, you might hear me say 1 p.m. a lot, and then for a reason, from my experience, like gold, once it finds a direction, it can go a lot of times until like 1 p.m.
Well above the expectations of 30 billion. But they said, look, you've got to believe them because they.
Yeah, like if it ever pulls back today, if the next 4 hour gives, you'd have to wait for the next 4 hour, basically.
Since back in August 2020.
You have to wait for the next 4 hour candle and see if the next 4 hour candle gives you an entry. You have to see if the next 4 hour gives you like a good wick entry.
Dropped by Ernst & Young. They're being investigated by the DOJ, but it's good because we're going to believe them that they're going to deliver $40 billion. Look, many analysts are out there saying this looks really good, and if it speaks to the level of AI demand, they make so.
Yeah, swings, like if it's coming to 4 hour swings, like when you're looking at the 4 hour, I tried this yesterday, didn't work. Well, it worked, didn't stick. Tried the same situation today as yesterday. Yesterday morning was New York buys. They pushed down price. They bought the dip yesterday, but they bought it to send it down lower, clearly. So they could buy it lower. Like, imagine $3,000. That'd be cool for gold. Gold, 1 ounce of gold is worth more than Ethereum. Look at, you got 1 ETH, 25.80. You got 1 ounce of gold. 1 ETH, 1 ounce of gold. Damn ETH. What are you doing to us? Yeah, silver's still pushing. Silver looks good. That's good signs. Could be a swing, guys. Like, it could be one of those, if you've taken trades on gold that you're like, damn, I should have held that trade. Just think about those. Maybe break-even situation. You can even add, like someone said, they're adding to your position, because it's looking pretty solid. In the next 4 hour, like 4 hours could, this 4 hour is about to close on forex.com. Forex.com, 22 minutes here. So the next 4 hours is about to open here in 22 minutes. So I would really keep an eye on that 4 hour. See if it keeps pushing it. I mean, in situations like this, it could be like, I'm going to hold my trade for the next 4-hour candle and see if the next 4-hour candle pushes to 2,900 or breaks through 2,900. Right, in a situation like this. The next 4-hour could do something like that, or it could wick down too. Like it could create a wick first before potentially pushing up. Like it could open, try to pull back on the open.
I don't know. The S&P's down less than 1% on the day. It's really the kind of market, isn't it, that we've been getting used to over the last.
I'll watch that next 4-hour.
A few big names up 20 or 40% on a year-to-date basis, and then one day somebody disappoints and goes down hard.
It's up to you if you want to close. I'm gonna try to swing it. If you're happy with your profit, like, you know, I'm break even if anything. Back to entries, small L, affordable L for me. Like if you're happy with it, it made a solid move for the morning. Like it's moved pretty, like for what it's done. If you caught buys, some people caught buys in the 60s, 70s, 80s. Like it did a good move. If you're happy with the profit that you made for the day, call it a day and don't look at the chart until tonight. Don't, like, if you close your trade, don't look at the chart until 8-10 p.m. tonight. Just go continue with your day. Do things outside of trading. Like if you're happy with what you're up, if you caught the trade and you're happy with the amount you're up, you could close it and it's W day. Close the trade, make that decision. Don't look at the price again until later tonight. That's the best thing you can do. I'm in buys. We've been in buys. A lot of people caught buys already. If you caught buys, like it made a good move for the day, you could consider that, or leave some small entries, maybe some runners to try to see if it swings much higher for the day until like 12 or 1 p.m. on the next 4-hour. Next 4-hour opens in 20 minutes, so 4 hours from now, you know, that would be really seeing if it gives some push in the next 4 hours. If not, maybe there's another entry tomorrow, end of the week. That'd be crazy. But you could always do that, break even. Like I always tell people, when you're in profit, that's really up to you. Because like, what if it comes back to your entry? Would that upset you? Right? You could always just call it a day. That's up to you. I'm going to try swinging it maybe for a couple more hours, like I said yesterday, and see if it pushes more. You could always get like a retracement. Like right now, I think it's more bullish. So remember what I said, like it going up and then coming down, or it just coming down could just be a retest for another setup, another entry too. You could always try to scale in on the next pullback that happens on this new 4-hour. I'm going to let my entries ride for the day and just chill out. Just keep them riding. If it comes back, that'll suck. But I think we're more bullish. We're looking more bullish. I think it'll continue. I think I'm good to just hold. And look at this buy. Look at the. Remember the zone I had? Like look at the zone now. Remember the line chart? Remember the line chart over here? So look at this is the line. Now I want you guys to look at the line chart for a minute, because I remember I went over this in the beginning when we kind of first got on. I was pulling up the line chart a lot to maybe help calm some of you guys down, to show you like, hey, we're still good. Look at the line chart. Look at the line chart now. Notice how the line chart isn't near there, right? Because line charts only show opening, closing price. They show the open or the close. So when you're looking at the line chart now, it's way above where it was when it's above where it was when we started the session, and I said it could come down and create a wick, but still close above where we are right now. When we first started the session before it went down, I was saying it might go down, create a wick, close back above this zone. See that? It's like a video game. Look at that. So it came all the way down there, reacted there. News pushed it down there. So they pushed it down, right? They bring price down. I would look for like even lower. If it can get lower, like 28.85 around there. If it can come back down, 28.85, closer to that. Like, closer to where it really started this move.
The borrower is worth more than the loan. And as long as the borrower is worth more than the loan, then it might be a rocky ride, but you're going to get your money back. And this world where there's these disruptive companies that, you know, have, let's call it 100, 200, 300 million of AR.
You can watch 28.90 and see if it reacts, right? Yeah, I mean, to me now, look, did we break above this high? Let's see this high. We did. See, we ran it. See that high? We ended up getting above it. That's good. 1 hour is gonna finish soon, so it's pulling back. Usually candles finish back, like pull back before they close, or even on the opening. Wait for this 1 hour. Like, this is coming down. Well, how long till 10? Yeah, like. Maybe let it come down a bit more, maybe closer to 28.85. 28.80s. If it might be able to, it still could come down there potentially. You gotta watch price. I could see it trying to retest where it came from. Maybe something like this, back in the zone, like where it kind of started the move from. Now we just broke up, made a high. 28.85 or lower. Before I was saying when it was here, I was saying if it pulls back to 28.75, but now we're farther than that, but still gonna keep that marked. If we come down more into this area, do I have experience with swinging Japanese yen? Missed too many swings this year. I'm gonna take my lesson. That's fine. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I get that. I understand. I've been there. That makes sense. I know where you're coming from. It's like, yeah, I get that. I understand that. I know exactly how you feel. It's a learning lesson. A learning market, but Japanese yen pairs used to have experience more with them, but I'm more like a gold trader nowadays. If you can get good on the JPY pairs, they really move a lot. Like they have their times where they really move. If you can get good on those, yeah. Some people like to look at like AUD Japan, Euro Japan, GBP Japan, all the JPYs. I used to like GBP Japan a lot. It's not that I don't like it. It's just I just trade gold. I like gold. Yeah, I still think gold bullish for the day. Maybe this is the start of the swing we've been looking for the last 2 days. So since like yesterday and last night, might be the start of the swing. Bitcoin tested 95,000 again. Bitcoin's been weird. It's good. It's been just interesting. 95,000's been tapping. Keeps trying to tap 95K. Like, just tap 95K, you see? Went below it. See, same thing on Bitcoin. It pushed down, and then now look at it. It's going up. Silver looks more bullish. See what silver just did? Wick down, went up. That's like the type of play you'd want on gold. When a candle opens, they can do stuff like this. You'd want maybe gold to do that on the 4 hour. Something like that on the 4 hour, where when the next 4 hour opens, it maybe starts off with a pullback. This one closes. If we look at this 4 hour, it looks pretty bullish to me. This looks pretty bullish to me. So potentially next 4 hour could go up, but it could also create a wick, like a pullback when it starts. That's why I like to look at both forex.com and Oanda. Like on Oanda, I can see a hammer. Pin bar. Am I gonna hold these to all-time highs? I hope it. I hope. We're at all, like we just made all-time high. I hope if this is the right setup, maybe. Maybe. We got to see about that. That's a timely essence. That just depends on if I close too early or not, right? That depends on me holding. If I'm up like 10K, I might be like, might close. If this goes to 2,900, I'll be up a good amount. So depends on if I can bear through the hold. That's the holding time. Then there, I might take a day or two, or maybe a week. If this, it depends on really if this setup holds still. If it sticks, we like to say the term, if it sticks. I saw a lot of people got in profit today. I'm happy to see that. News days can be kind of like, weary, especially when you're watching a news event and I'm like saying I'm looking for buys, and then in the first 5 minutes it's just dumping, right? The first 10 minutes of the news is just dropping like crazy, right? Reversal, that happens a lot. I talk about it in my news videos. I don't know what they're talking about there today. I haven't really kept up with the news today. I just know Jerome Powell is speaking. Trump's going to speak. I'll probably see what that was. When Trump's going to speak, probably like 12. Probably like 3 hours, like yesterday. Let's see. Yesterday it was like around afternoon. Ukraine's president fears Donald Trump is keeping him out of the loop. Yeah, what time? Anyone know any news on Trump's speech today? Donald Trump signs executive order giving Doge more power. That's crazy. Doge. Department of Government Efficiency. Yeah, I don't know when Trump speaks. I would guess when he usually kind of does, like same time around that it was yesterday. Like around the same time yesterday. I don't know when that is right now, but yesterday it was like 3 hours from now. I don't know what he's going to speak about. Maybe he's going to declare war or something. Go try to take it out. Who knows? He's declaring tariff wars right now. I don't know if anyone's realized that. He's going on some tariff. He's declaring tariff wars right now. Right? This is Bloomberg Live. Usually they play like kind of everything that goes on and talk about everything kind of going on, market, economy.
Right, that right now it's the case that Americans are still paying something like $1,200 a month less.
Wait a bit. Like you can wait a bit
because of this inflation, and egg prices are up 100%.
Let it come down even. Try to see if it comes down more over the next hour. 4 hours opening soon. Maybe closing more bullish from the looks of it.
Then you do macro things too.
So next 4 hour might start off with some pullbacks on it.
Aggregate demand, all that massive government spending, $1.5 trillion.
I still like the bulls for the bullish for gold.
2019. So you got to get that spending down, and then you got to have.
There was a pullback yesterday. It was right here, but it didn't hold. Yeah, this right here was the pullback yesterday. There was this pullback that happened after. And that went up, So yesterday, like, started bullish. There was a pullback down and it went up, but didn't stick from there. We're a lot lower though right now. We came into the zone on the 4-hour. And we literally saw this drive down and go up too. So I might, like, that same pullback as like kind of yesterday, I see. Similar. Maybe wait 28.85 area. Yesterday literally it came to 28.95. 28.90.
Bloomberg loves earnings.
I know it's like your Super Bowl, right?
I can't
Like
wait.
it's-
It's like opening presents.
Yesterday I was saying, yesterday when we were here, I was like, if this could pull back and come up, another buy. Kind of the same thing I'm saying today. The 3-minute, eh? Watch now when I'm going to be adding the 3-minute. All things crypto. They talk about a lot of crypto on here nowadays.
It's really the beginning of a global on-chain economy.
And if America doesn't embrace it, we're going to be left behind.
Bloomberg Crypto, only on Bloomberg.
Bringing you up-to-the-minute geopolitical news whenever and wherever it happens. I'm David Gura in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, and this is Bloomberg.
That we're looking at a 3-month moving average above 4, right? So that's not what the Fed should be saying right now, and it's not true. But we're going to fix it, with or without the Fed, because we understand macroeconomics.
You do have the president talking about wanting lower rates, but when you do have inflation as it stands well above the Fed's target persistently, and an increase in many aspects of the American economy,
I know every guy was thinking the same thing
how would
there.
you then lower rates into this environment? Wouldn't that be considered imprudent given where inflation stands today?
It goes back to actually proving what we were just talking about.
ETH's getting wrecked. As long as ETH stays down, no altcoins are really going to go up right now. Like, you might have one that has a good day. Some might solo have pumps. You might see a meme coin that just has a really good day itself. But like, all cryptos right now are down. Like because ETH is down. Underperforming. So for every alternative coin, meme coin, low cap coin, like, until ETH really moves, it's hard to say what any coin's is gonna so much do right now, because you might see until ETH brings in dominance, there won't, a lot of the alternative coins aren't gonna really move much. You might see some alternative coins move. If anything, they're going to just drag down with ETH. As ETH keeps dragging down, it literally had a huge... So ETH, a lot of things are having that effect now that follow ETH too, like Ethereum-based coins, Ethereum alternative coins. So that effect on altcoins, it's still... ETH going to here is still dragging out on a lot of coins. Like, it's still that happening. It's still keeping all your alternative coins like just more on the down, because like, yeah, ETH kind of rebounded a little bit, but because it had that move down, all alternative coins are just gonna kind of stay in this matrix for a bit, and the ones that come out of it will be known as like the good ones. Like, they say this run's different because of like, there's so many coins now. There's so many celebrity coins coming up every week that we don't need. We don't need that garbage in crypto. Really don't need celebrity coins, but it's just the power of decentralization in the blockchain, how one person can create their own crypto. Not everything's going to come out of like maybe like the alt season, because there's just so many coins now coming out. Memes, alternatives, the Uniswap coins, tokens, they're down because ETH. So it's like as when ETH recovers, everything else will recover. It like when it's a matter of kind of when that happens for ETH. Like ETH's low. ETH's where it was here. ETH's considerably lower than, you know, $4,000. If you're looking at, if you liked Ethereum, if you were bullish on Ethereum back over here, I mean, I wouldn't let price scare you to still be that same sentiment. Or if you're bullish before then, and you know, if you're bullish long term in ETH and you still believe in it, you know, I wouldn't let what it's done be like, oh, this is bad for ETH. It's like, because ETH also gets staked. They stake ETH, right? So it's a big tool, utility for staking. It's different than just Bitcoin, right? Like with staking Ethereum, how just anyone can just stake Ethereum and receive rewards on an exchange, like Coinbase even. Yeah, gold bullish. What about Bitcoin and ETH? I'm all long term for those. Long term, like I'm for Bitcoin. Long term. I talked about this last night, so let me pull up what I talked about last night real quick for you. Long term, I'm all for Bitcoin, for sure. Like because it's what, like, so think about this for instance. Let me find out what we talked about last night here. What's this? Oh, it's just forecasting. Yeah, this is the largest devaluation. Altcoins are down. For everything, like Bitcoin is outperforming all sectors. Look at. So this is why. So we talk about, like, if you're buying, stay with me here. stay with me. If you're buying Apple, let's say you buy one share of Apple, you know what you're buying, right? You're buying a share of Apple, right? If you buy 100,000 shares of Apple, if you buy 1,000 shares of Apple, if you buy 100 shares of Apple, whatever amount, you know what you are purchasing, right? And maybe because you know what it is, that's why you're purchasing it, right? You know what, maybe, right? When it comes down to, and here's Bitcoin number 7, gold almost hit 20, pretty much hit 20 trillion at the beginning of the week. Bitcoin is outperforming all ERC20 altcoin sectors. ERC20 being the Ethereum network. You know, you got USDT, ERC20. Bitcoin is that yellow guy way up here. Whereas all, you know, AI tokens, DeFi, ERC20 exchange tokens, gaming tokens, meme, NFT, governance tokens, all of them. Ethereum is the black right here. So it shows you which, like, layer 1 tokens, right? It shows you some tokens that maybe are even above some layers, some sectors that are above Ethereum, right? Obviously you have exchange token. Down at the bottom. It's interesting, like, now let's look at also this before I answer more of your question. Last night we talked about this. BlackRock's buying yesterday. BlackRock spot ETFs bought some Bitcoin and Ethereum. Some inflows, around 582 BTC were sold, but Ethereum bought. So we see, it's not bad. If 582 Bitcoin are sold, the market's liquid. It's meant to do that, right? But we saw inflows of Bitcoin happen, or Ethereum. So last night, where is it, man? I'm trying to find it. I gotta do some scrolling. There it is. So we talked about this last night, for instance, like, celebrity coins. For instance, Mother, that's Iggy. What's gold at? I put the gold chart. 91. Pulling back. Like I said, like maybe pullbacks gives you entries. Where's the other chart? Yeah. Testing 20. Celebrity coins are down an average of 78%. You got Jail Stool that just came out. That's what I mean. So like right now, the market's in a phase where something can come out and it's gonna pump. It'll be the only thing pumping maybe. Like there, you might see one coin have a good day or a couple coins have a good day. Like, right? Like Jail Stool came out and yeah, it's pumping. Some things might have good days on their own. There might be like a day we like Pancake Swap is a top gainer today, 14%. Like just like that, like one coin that I have in the top 100, Pancake Swap, for instance, is having a good day. But like you don't have any much other coins really having a good day, like in the top 100, right? There's one called S. I don't know what that is. Sonic. No, I don't know what Sonic is. I've probably heard that. Yeah. A few other, like nothing really there really with gains today, right? There's one coin, Pancake, having a good day. Pancake Swap. But like you'll have coins like Jail Stool that'll come out, or Trump coin. Like a coin could come out right now. Barack Obama could make a coin and it would pump right now. Like, right? Barack Obama could create a coin. Let's hope he doesn't do that. Or someone some celebrity. Daddy, for instance. Daddy is Andrew Tate. Mother is Iggy Azaleas, if I'm saying her last name right. Trump, Trump. Melina Trump. Jail Stool, Barstool Sports, if you know David Porneroy, the guy who goes and does all those pizza reviews. But remember what I just said, like if it comes down, if you're buying something, and if you're buying Apple, you know what you're buying. If you're buying gold, you know what you're buying. If you're buying Amazon, you know what you're buying. If you're buying, Jail Stool, you're buying what, like hype? Like you're buying something that's more based off of hype, doesn't have like intrinsic value or anything. There's no substance there, really. There's probably just community, right? You can make money on these types of coins, but like there's no really substance there for what they are. Andrew Tate, for instance, Daddy. Like okay, you got some Daddy coin. Like, do you have one? Like, something to be prouder of would be like, I got one Bitcoin. Because if you go to your local city, every person you talk to, ask them, do you have one Bitcoin? Everyone's gonna tell you no. Like, if you were to go meet, I live in a hotel, for instance, so I talk to a lot of people. If you were to be in your local city, or talk to your neighbor, talk to your friends, talk to the people you work with, talk to your teachers, talk to your family, talk to your coworkers, like whatever. Talk to people you're around and ask them, like, you're gonna realize average person doesn't have one Bitcoin, one unit, but the average person might be focused more on this stuff, right? Andrew Tate coin, I gotta buy Daddy coin, you gotta buy this coin, it's because the price, right? The price of Bitcoin is the price that it is because of what it is. Like, there's clearly something there, right? There's substance there, right? There has to be a substance there for it to be that price, right? Yeah, gold's setting up. There's that pull. There's a pullback you're getting on the hour. New hour opened. New 4-hour opening. You'd want this next 4 hour to really go up. Maybe this next 4 hour can give you bullish momentum on gold. Be good to see this rip up today. So yeah, when it comes down to, Ethereum, BlackRock, there's obviously something with Ethereum because it's the second largest crypto. I don't just see it going away. It's underperforming, yeah, but everything will do that until it ends up having one bullish month where it's like, holy, it's up 40% on the month, 30% on the month. Solana did that. Everyone was mad about Solana for a little bit when Ethereum was going up. And then Solana goes to $300 while Ethereum's down. But these types of coins, they're coins you literally want to rent for a little period of time. You like, because you're basically betting on the person. Yeah. Okay. What's your what's your due diligence? Oh, they have such a big following. Oh, this many people. Like. Okay. You can go through Bitcoin and just name off of a bunch of different other reasons to buy it versus all of these other coins. Like, right? So it comes down to what Bitcoin is. It's you got to understand what you're buying, like what you're owning. Because there's only going to be 21 million in existence, right? 21 million Bitcoin will be in existence, right? There'll be 21 million forever in existence, right? If you have one of those, how many people are in the world? 7 point something billion, right? I don't know, more. You're going to be one of the people in the world that have one out of billions of people. So that's why there's some substance there. There's some scarcity there with it. Goodbyes. So I always say, like, it's up to you guys. If you're in good profit and you like your profit, like, you could just look at it catching a move for the session. Swing potentially developing still. Swing. That 4 hour has a big wick. This 4 hour just opened here. This could go up, but like yesterday it went up, but it didn't end up sticking. It ended up coming back down. But it respected our area. We're going to end up checking back on gold tonight. It's literally wrong chart. Wait, oh, it's respected the area. I got to put it back. There we go. Right there. So one of the points I'm getting to with the whole kind of TED talk I just did there is that you have time to buy these. Like, the best time to buy it is when they first come out. Like, literally. If you're looking at like these as something, oh, I gotta hold this forever, you honestly have time to buy these types of coins. They'll be around and you'll look at them one day and look at it 4 months later and it's like it hasn't done anything. There's more power to Bitcoin versus all these meme coins, alternative coins. There's definitely much more power to it with all those other coins versus all those other coins, I mean. So it did respect the zone that I was, like, that previous area. So, I mean, swing could be developing. And like I said in the beginning, like, when it comes down to like a 4 hour time frame swing, it takes multiple candles to get that. It's failing to get to that 2900. It almost did there. 1 hour's pulling back, 15-minute pulling back. Remember I said it could maybe come down to 28.85. I did say that a few times. I did say it could maybe come back to test the low. Around 28.85 or lower, even like 28. Before I said 28.85, I remember saying 28.75, something like this. Come down to the low, maybe retest the low, revisit the low for a re-entry. So there could be still a re-entry loading. You could see like everything I was saying went up, made a new high. I started saying this originally here on the 5 minute. When it was here, I was saying this. I was originally drawing this here. Well, the first time was here. I'm still saying the same thing, just higher up. If you remember when we were over here on this candle, I was saying 28.75, 28.73. You guys might remember that. I remember it because I said it. The then price pushed up. It's still kind of the same thing even. If it gets down there. So you have a buy setup forming. You have a buy setup forming, I think, on gold. If you're not in, or if you closed, it's like this is where sometimes closing, like you go in a quick profit, can play out where re-entries can always come. Like gold can move quick, close, re-entry, use some of the profit as risk. I don't know what's going on as news. There's they talk about everything on here, so a lot of different things. I don't know really what Jerome Powell is doing. I'm not gonna watch that because it's literally gonna be like 90 minutes long of people asking old guy questions. You could watch it probably on CNBC or Fox. I'm not gonna watch it personally, but it's probably live right now. It's
perform better in carrying out their mandates than politically motivated central banks. The independence of the Federal Reserve is crucial to achievement of this dual mandate goals.
Like you can find it on Bloomberg.
Gentleman yields back. I'd like to turn to
or Fox, CNBC.
for a point of personal privilege.
Same thing as yesterday.
Thank you, Chairman Hill.
Maybe he says something that
all good
like
things must come to an end.
they might ask him a crypto question. Maybe they already did.
Someone who is leaving the committee, but has been an integral part of the.
This is kind of unscripted, so any questions can get asked. This is unscripted, so it's like any questions get asked.
All of 29 years old.
That's why the markets will react a lot of times to these things, because these parts are unscripted. So for markets, sometimes there's surprises too in these things.
This committee, her colleagues, and this institution are something that we all should aspire to achieve. And
if you want to watch it, go on Bloomberg Television.
From a professional staff member,
Bloomberg Television.
To now Deputy General Counsel in this particular Congress. And her time with the committee, Nicole has.
You have Bloomberg Television News. You got like this one where they go through kind of just everything markets all through the day, 24 hours. All different things.
Few years since COVID, so they have the money.
And then you got.
Just to name a few, and I've sat through her questioning, and it's fierce and tenacious and direct.
Pretty sure there's a chat.
Myself,
where's the
my
chat?
team,
Isn't there's always a live chat. No, this one doesn't have a chat. You probably
of 2023,
this one
terrorist
does.
financing and corruption at the FDIC and the SEC's climate disclosure.
That was audios. So if you want to watch it, you can watch 90 minutes to 2 hours of this guy getting asked questions like this.
Will not be forgotten and are deeply cherished. So thank you, Nicole. We deeply appreciate
But
all your
you
work.
might hear some things that, maybe sometimes they talk about ongoing situations in the world, inflation, interest rates, and you might hear something that sparks your ear that's like,
Your testimony, Chairman Powell, you'll be recognized for.
Usually I watch these and I'm like, okay. If I'm watching the charts, I'll keep it kind of playing at the same time.
Chairman Hill, Ranking Member Waters, and other members of the committee, I appreciate the opportunity to present the Federal Reserve's semi-annual monetary
He's
policy
just starting
report.
the monetary policy
The
statement.
Federal Reserve remains squarely focused on achieving our dual mandate goals of maximum employment and price stability for the benefit of the American people. The economy is
You can
strong
give it a little
overall
listen for
and has
maybe
made
15
significant
minutes here or
progress
so.
toward our goals over the past 2 years. Labor market conditions have cooled from their formerly overheated state and remain solid. Inflation has moved
I've
much closer
literally
to our
heard him
2%
say that
longer run
exact
goal,
same
though
sentence.
it remains
Oh my
somewhat
gosh,
elevated.
that sounds
We are
so
attentive to
familiar.
the risks on both sides of our mandate. I will review the current economic situation before turning to monetary policy. Recent indicators suggest that economic activity has continued to expand at a solid pace. GDP rose 2.5% in 2000.
Mr. Chairman, could we ask you to pull your mic a little closer, please? Thank you so much.
Sure.
Oh, damn, eh?
Recent indicators suggest that economic activity has continued to expand at a solid pace. GDP rose 2.5% in 2024, bolstered by resilient consumer spending. Investment in equipment and intangibles appears to have declined in the fourth quarter, but was solid for the year overall. Following weakness in the middle of last year, activity in the housing sector seems to have stabilized. In the labor market, conditions remain solid and appear to have stabilized.
Wow, that
Payroll
sounds
job
so
gains
familiar.
averaged 189,000 per month over the past 4 months. Following earlier increases, the unemployment rate has been steady since the middle of last year and, at 4% in January, remains low. Nominal wage growth has eased over the past year, and the jobs-to-workers gap has narrowed. Overall, a wide set of indicators suggests that conditions in the labor market are broadly in balance. The labor market is not a source of significant inflationary pressures. The strong labor market conditions in recent years have helped narrow long-standing disparities in employment and earnings across demographic groups. Inflation has eased significantly over the past 2 years, but remains somewhat elevated relative to our 2% longer-run goal. Total PCE prices rose 2.6% over the 12 months ending in December, and excluding the volatile food and energy categories, core PCE prices rose 2.8%. Longer-term inflation expectations appear to remain well anchored, as reflected in a broad range of surveys of households, businesses, and forecasters, as well as measures from financial markets. Our monetary policy actions are guided by our dual mandate to promote maximum employment and stable prices for the American people. Since last September, the FOMC lowered the policy rate by a full percentage point from its peak, after having maintained the target range for the federal funds rate at 5.25% to 5.5% for 14 months. That recalibration of our policy stance was appropriate in light of progress on inflation and the cooling in the labor market. Meanwhile, we've continued to reduce our securities holdings. With our policy stance now significantly less restrictive than it had been and the economy remaining strong, we do not need to be in a hurry to adjust our policy stance. We know that reducing policy restraint too fast or too much could hinder progress on inflation. At the same time, reducing policy restraint too slowly or too little could unduly weaken economic activity and employment. In considering the extent and timing of additional adjustments to the target range for the federal funds rate, the FOMC will assess incoming data, the evolving outlook, and the balance of risks. As the economy evolves, we will adjust our policy stance in a manner that best promotes our maximum employment and price stability goals. If the economy remains strong and inflation does not continue to move sustainably toward 2%, we can maintain policy restraint for longer. If the labor market were to weaken unexpectedly, or if inflation were to fall more quickly than anticipated, we can ease policy accordingly. We are attentive to the risks to both sides of our dual mandate, and policy is well positioned to deal with the risks and uncertainties that we face. This year, we're conducting our second periodic review of our monetary policy strategy, tools, and communications, the framework used to pursue our congressionally assigned goals. The focus of this review is on the FOMC's Statement on Longer-Run Goals and Monetary Policy Strategy, which articulates the committee's approach to monetary policy, and on the committee's policy communications tools. The committee's 2% longer-run inflation goal will be retained and will not be a focus of the review. Our review will include outreach and public events involving a wide range of parties, including Fed Listens events around the country and a research conference in May.
I'm here. I just put the
We'll
camera
take on
off
board
so
the
we can
lessons
just
of the
listen
last
for a
5
bit,
years and
chill
adapt
out.
our approach where appropriate to best serve the American people to whom we are accountable.
Watch the chart.
We intend to wrap up the review by late
Listen.
summer.
Use our ears.
Let me conclude by emphasizing that at the Fed, we'll do
talk
everything
a
we
lot.
can to achieve the dual mandate goals Congress set for monetary policy. We remain committed to supporting maximum employment, bringing inflation sustainably to our 2% goal, and keeping longer-term inflation expectations well anchored. Our success in delivering on these goals matters to all Americans. We understand that our actions affect communities, families, and businesses across the country. Everything we do is in service to our public mission. Thank you, and I look forward to our questions.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Chairman yields back. I want to recognize the ranking member of the full committee, Mrs. Waters from California, for a
What did he
4-minute
say?
opening statement.
Said something there.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome, Chair Powell, to our country is on the precipice
check
of
the
an
price of Bitcoin
economic
sometimes.
disaster, unlike
Little
anything we've seen
fluctuation
in
going
recent
on.
memory. While Trump promised lower prices for working-class families, we're seeing the exact opposite. In fact, grocery prices are rising. According to the Labor Department, Eggs are up 40%, more expensive than they were even a year ago. In my home state of California, we've seen eggs as high as $9 and more for a dozen. Inflation is rising, and it is up to 3% for the first time since June. And other staples are about to get more expensive as Trump levies new taxes on steel and aluminum. America's consumers and businesses are facing uncertainty and chaos. This is all because Trump and his unelected billionaire co-president Elon Musk are taking a sledgehammer to our economy and democracy. In recent days, they attempted to illegally kill the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, the same agency created after the financial crisis of 2008. Since its inception, CFPB has successfully fought on behalf of working class families against abusive big banks and predatory lenders, and not to mention returned $21 billion back to families who were swindled. Chair Powell, you explained yesterday that with the CFPB shutdown, there is no agency to supervise big banks to ensure they follow consumer finance law. In the face of these illegal, cruel, and relentless attacks, Chair Hill, it is both urgent and critical that you immediately convene a long overdue hearing with CFPB Acting Director Vaught, members of Congress, and importantly, the American public deserves answers as to why Musk and his Doge minions are in possession of sensitive consumer information and what they are doing with it. Additionally, Trump is simultaneously threatening import taxes on U.S. companies that will increase the cost of groceries and other basic supplies for all. Trump is freezing funds for housing assistance and community development and whittling down the federal workforce so that his billionaire boys...
It's actually true, like, with the steel and aluminum, everything is going to become more, like, fridges, anything with steel and aluminum, beer cans, like, I was saying this last night. She said staples. She literally said the staples. She's like, little things are just going to become more expensive.
Trump doubles down.
And things are already expensive, is what she's saying too.
As we have seen with demands that you drop rates immediately. In fact, his co-president Musk attacked Fed independence in a tweet earlier this year. Chair Powell, I know you have been adamant about the independence of the Fed and have, thus far, resisted pressure from Trump. But after your decision to eliminate DEI initiatives following Trump's illegal order, I'm concerned that Trump has more influence over you than you let on. I speak for all of my colleagues on the Democratic side when I say that you must stand firm in defending the Fed's independence. Reject any attempt by Elon Musk and his Doge minions to gain access to the Fed, its systems and data, and speak forcefully about what's at stake for our economy. The American public must hear from you, our central bank, today.
This is more serious than yesterday.
Gentlewoman yields back. I yield myself 5 minutes for questions. Thank you again, Chairman Powell, for being with us. Let me start with the Fed's bank regulation and supervisory function. As I mentioned in my opening statement, over the past 2.5 years, the outgoing
Doge, Department of Government Efficiency, Elon, they want to kind of abolish the Fed. Interesting.
That disregards the congressional mandate that's been quite clearly established for regulators to tailor bank regulation based on an
some of the stuff she's saying is true, though. Even with the whole some of the stuff she's saying is facts.
Stepping down from his position as vice chair on February 28th.
She is saying some facts, though.
Earlier, should a successor
so as much as she sounds, how she's saying, yeah, she is. There is some facts she's saying. So
that it does not
that's why gold just went up. Like kind of like gold pushing keep. She did say some facts there. So as much as you might sound like so let's shut her up, but.
While we wait around for a vice
I think about with the steel and aluminum tariffs, anything that's made cars, fridges, solar panels, anything that aluminum in it, as far even like as low as beer cans. She said staples, anything. Look what if you remember what happened in 2018. A lot of things got expensive, so things will get more expensive, which could be some of the pain to bear. Maybe it's like one of those things
Time with the senators, and you talked a little bit about Basel
where
III
there's
endgame.
short-term pain for long-term golden age sustainability. Gold buyers are clearly responding to this.
Many of us here in Congress on both sides of the aisle felt like Vice Chairman Barr's approach was gold plating already high standards for American banks. You testified yesterday that you think bank capital levels are about right for those large institutions. Would you tell the committee today that it's your intent to repropose a Basel III endgame approach, just speaking on behalf of the Fed only, not the other supervisors, and that it be take into account the comments and that it be generally capital neutral?
We do intend to repropose Basel III endgame, and we intend to do that just as soon as we can get together with the new leadership at the two.
Elon Copres, he's saying them those your billionaires, saying them billionaires.
Once those people are in place, I look forward to
As if all these politicians, some of them are. They said some of them make 200 grand a year, but are worth like 200 mil.
about right, and that would be my starting point on going into these discussions. But I do want to defer. I do want to, leave it for my upcoming, new leadership at those agencies to have their own views on that.
I think that's important. I think it needs to be coordinated and harmonized among our supervisory agencies. And I do want you to take into account how Basel III endgame proposal interacts with other pending rules, whether they're on liquidity or the other things like operating risk in the companies. I think that was a lot of centrality of the comments that we saw on your Barr proposal. Turning to monetary policy, looking back at 2020 and 2021, I was looking at all the principal monetary policy rules that you report in your semi-annual report. And had you followed any of the monetary policy rules that you track, they would have had you tighten sooner in the cycle rather than waiting. And I think that could have reflected maybe not seen as have a 40-year high in inflation. Using the benefit of hindsight, do you think you should have looked at those rules more closely in the open market operations and tightened sooner?
I will say, and I've said before, that hindsight suggests that it would have been good if we had tightened earlier. I don't know how much difference that would have made, but I'd be very careful with those rules. Those rules in the middle of last year suggested that our policy rate was a couple hundred basis points too high. So we need to. They're a starting point, not an ending point.
Right. But we've had this conversation before. The point is that they do offer a roadmap, and you do mention them in writing in your monetary policy reports, except for one time during the pandemic. And I think, though, that you're adding that to your reference point in your forward guidance and in your communications.
Still holding the line. That pullback happened at the hour.
Review of the inflation target.
The pullback was at the hour, like I was kind of saying. So when a 4-hour closes and the next one opens, whether it's bearish or bullish, in this case, bullish, right? We had a bullish 4-hour close. The next one opens. And it starts with sell pressure when it opens. That's good to see. A lot of traders might fear that. A lot of traders might see a candle open, it's opening bearish. But we look at that differently. We have different eyes to the market, whereas maybe a candle opens and it's starting bearish to continue, right? If we're looking at a bullish close on the 4-hour, a lot of times we're anticipating the next 4-hour to continue direction, the next 4-hour to maybe give us some continuing direction. Video should be down. I turned it down. I can't even hear it right now. Can you guys hear it? I can't even hear it. You guys can still hear it? I can't. I haven't been able to hear it. I can't hear it right now. Yeah, so far, like, the plan, it looks good. It just needs time, I think. Gold just had some reaction there. If it comes down to swings, it's everything. If it's coming down to, like, a swing, it's just holding time. Seeing if it sticks in the next 2 hours, because this candle has 3 hours and 26 minutes left. So it has to give us some push within that time, right? If we're looking at a bullish move, and we want, we got a bullish candle. Really 3 hours and 26 minutes. I'm not going to stay on for that long, to be honest. We've been on since like 8 o'clock. So we've been on for like 90 minutes now. Or maybe longer. No, 2 hours and 30 minutes right now. I'm not going to stay on for the whole candle, but I would expect, now we got 3 hours and 26 minutes on this candle. Within that time, I would want to see this go bullish, maybe push up more. Louder.
That is the way we feel about it.
Oh, she's back.
And at the Fed.
All right, she's back. Let's listen.
And that is what we've been doing and will continue to do. Chair Powell, how will you ensure that the Fed continues to attract the best and most diverse employees?
We're institutions like ours, private and public, are in a constant contest to hire the best talent in the country. And we've all learned, I think, and certainly we have, that we will go anywhere to find that talent, and including places that we didn't go 25 years ago. And we'll just continue to do that. We're recruiting, as you know, at many, many, many universities and colleges, including historically black universities and colleges, and others. And that's what we find, and that's our practice. We think that's the best way to go about it.
Thank you very much. And that's what I've always felt about the Fed. No matter what they call it, you only attracted and hired the best qualified people in your operation, no matter what they refer to it as, what they call it, whatever way they define it. Is that right?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Chair Powell, are you willing to provide my staff with an immediate briefing from your agency on the status of your OMWEs and equal employment offices?
Yes.
Thank you. I believe that you know that the OMWEs were created with the Dodd-Frank reforms. It's in law. And as I understand it, any attempt to dismantle OMWEs would have to come before the Congress of the United States of America. Is that your understanding?
Well, yes. Section 342 of Dodd-Frank, which is the OMWE section, is the law.
Thank you. Chair Powell, to what extent have you consulted with other board members in determining how your agency is complying with Section 342 of Dodd-Frank, and as well as any other federal anti-discrimination law?
I think we've consulted with senior staff and board members quite a bit.
Chair Powell, days after his inauguration, President Trump issued an executive order on digital assets, which includes a prohibition on central bank digital currencies, or CBDCs. The executive order banned any, quote, form of digital money or monetary value denominated in the national unit of account that is a direct liability of central bank, end quote. I'm concerned that this extremely broad definition could go far beyond CBDCs. Well, thank you very much. My time is up, but I appreciate your presence here today, and I appreciate your willingness to stand up for your right
Gentlewoman's
to be the
time
chair.
has expired.
And
But
I now yield back. Thank you.
But I do invite the chairman to respond to the gentlewoman's question on CBDCs in writing. And now we turn to the vice chair of the full committee, Bill Heisinger, the gentleman from Michigan.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and Chair Powell. Good to see you again. You had talked a little bit about your review. I'm going to start there.
I don't know if it'll come back down. Like, you got to watch price. Like, the 4 hour looks strong at the moment. I'm not too sure if it'll come back down there. Like, there's been some entries. Like, it literally just came, that down to 86. Like, it almost came to 85. I was even saying 28.85 or lower. Like, that would have been a good entry. It almost came to 28.85. That was one of the prices I was saying. If it comes down there, that's an if factor. I don't know if the market's going to do that. It could just rip up for the day. It's like I said, we've been looking for this buy the dip swing. It's having a hard time getting to 2,900. If it gets down there, you could consider. You'd have to watch price, monitor it for the day. It already did a drop. Like I kind of said, buyers are in control from the looks of it. So, like, remember when it was here, I was saying if it can come down, there's a buy, or if it comes down, there's a buy. That first kind of pullback that it does. After you get like a good extension like this, it's kind of like, okay, the market ran. That first pullback could turn into a buy situation in a scenario like this. Yeah, they have different time ending on the 1 hour. I know that, and the 4 hour, right? I know. But it's still good to kind of watch both of them, mix through them. Candles can look a bit different. It's the 4 hour they have different endings on. And where they open for the day. So like this one, 3 hours and 20 minutes. 2 hours and 20 minutes. But this is a time, like this one's, the one before this, like, for instance, like, if you were looking at a Wanda, you would have seen the hammer. And it's like, oh, we got a hammer, the next candle could go up. Right? Whereas forex.com, it just turned into a bullish candle. So on Owanda's candle finished. That 4 hour finished. And this one's the new one. But if you look at the candle, it's a hammer. Or it's a hammer candlestick on Owanda. And the next one's been pushing up. So it's like, at times there can be like a little difference between the two, and that little difference can make a big difference. That 1 hour, it might be a little difference, but it can make a big difference. Yeah, like price based on a 4 hour might just rip up for the day, like I've been saying. I think that's like the 5th or 6th time I've said that sentence. Might just rip up for the day. The buyers might stay in control. You kind of have to just watch price. Like I said, guys, I'm gonna try holding my swings a couple hours, maybe till 1 p.m. Powell's speaking. He'll probably be live for probably another hour or so. He was live yesterday for a while. You'd have to monitor price and watch, like, for those pullbacks. Like, we just got a pullback and it shot up. That would have been a good entry. So if you get another pullback even deeper than that one, it would be good to look for entries and see if the swing holds. Looks more bullish to me though on price action. I would wait. I wouldn't. You don't have to chase price because a lot of people caught entries down here, in here, and up. So some people took profits, closed already, done for the day. Me, I'm trying to swing my entries that I have down there at 73, 74, 77. So I have entries down there that I'm trying to swing through this current 4 hour. We'll see. Might be, and then we'll be live again tomorrow too. If you notice, the last 2 days it's been buys. New York session, both sessions the last 2 days. Yesterday morning was a similar situation as this morning, and then literally the market went down all day, all night, all early morning until this morning, and then it was a buy this morning. So let's keep that in mind. If price drops until tomorrow morning. If price doesn't stick, because like there is a chance price, I think it's going to keep going up, right, personally. But keep that in mind, what it's done the last 2 days, how it's dropped until the morning the last 2 days. So if we see something similar going into tomorrow morning, it's maybe just like a mental preparation, right? What if this goes up for a couple more hours, but then for the next 15 hours after that, like this could go up a couple hours, maybe do what it did yesterday, and then tomorrow morning it might be a similar scenario. There can always be planning ahead, thinking forward. Like I said, it might rip up. If it hits 2,900, I'll consider getting out at like partials. Because I got an entry at 73, my lowest, 28.73, up 200 pips on some of those. It almost hit 2,900. I'm going to hold for like another hour or two, see where price is at, but I still like the bullish swings. I'm going to be on tonight to do another update as well as tomorrow morning. We still have 3 more sessions in the week. We still got tonight. We can see where price is at tonight. We got tomorrow morning, and then we got Friday morning. So how you look at gold sometimes is how, like, the direction it even comes into a time. Like, if you look at today and yesterday, it did the same thing 2 days in a row. Yesterday, what was price doing? Dropping into these hours already. It was already dropping prior to these hours, coming into this session and while we were live yesterday. Today we have like a similar, it's already dropping into those hours. So like, yeah, like from my experience, seeing that over again. Okay, price is dropping into New York. Maybe the preparation and mental thinking is already, you know what your bias is. Like you're, all right, I'm looking for buys today, and that's it. Today I'm just looking for buys. All right, that's the game plan for today. Today, coming into these hours, this time, looking for more buys because what price is already done. Maybe prices dropped for the last 8 hours or the last 10 hours completely into the session, right? Like you look at gold, dropped straight all the way until 8:30, 9 o'clock range, pumps up. Same thing yesterday, right? Even when you look at like here, it finished off yesterday kind of around 11, 12, and it didn't go any higher. If it comes back down, it's going to test the low. So the low could potentially react, right? Or it's similar to what yesterday did. It drags all the way down until, again, tomorrow New York session. That's just thinking forward. That's forward thinking. So you kind of have like a mental preparation of like, okay, this is the action I could already be taking. Like, so you already know. That instills confidence more in a way. The bulls are still in control from the looks of it, based on 4 hour. We need the next 3 hours and 13 minutes, I'd say, to be nice. Give a solid push up. Bloomberg Television. Bloomberg Television, you can find it there. Trump, like CNBC, maybe Bloomberg too, maybe Bloomberg Television. Yeah, usually like when I'm watching Bloomberg, he'll be, whenever he's kind of doing a meeting or a conference or something that he's partaking in, the media is there. Bloomberg usually, or Fox News, CNBC, like they all do it live nowadays. Like it's all streamed a lot nowadays. You can see, you don't got to go on your TV and find it on the news. You can go CNBC Live, Fox News Live, or Bloomberg Live on YouTube. And on Trump's, I don't know what time he speaks. Like I said, probably time he did yesterday around the same time. Probably when this is, because this is going to go on for a bit, so probably closer to when this is maybe done-ish. This is going to go on for maybe another hour, even more longer, maybe. This will go on for a bit.
Myself for 5 minutes. Chair Powell, let's talk about the balance sheet. As we've discussed several times before, the consistent and massive growth of the federal debt creates long-run challenges for both the United States and saddles future generations with an onerous burden. But it also creates a challenging environment for the markets as the Treasury market expands in kind. As the Fed engages in quantitative tightening, allowing the Treasuries to roll off, the Fed is careful to ensure that there are ample reserves for the balance sheet. Could you briefly discuss the conditions that determine the ideal level of reserves?
Sure. So let me say that we intend to slow, and we have slowed, but then stop the process of shrinking our balance sheet at a time when we think that reserves are somewhat above the level that we judge to be consistent with our ample reserves framework. So what that means is we want reserves to be ample, meaning we don't want them to suddenly appear to be shortages of reserves. So we're going to think of where those shortages might appear, and we're going to put a buffer on top of that, because nothing good happens when there's not enough liquidity. So that's our overall framework. And right now we feel like all the evidence suggests that reserves are still abundant, which is more than ample.
As you know, in early 2021, the Fed stated that it would invite comments on the supplemental leverage ratio. That has not happened yet. I've made the point that the growth of the U.S. Treasury market paired with a decreased willingness of banks to act as intermediaries is a major issue on the horizon. When former Treasury Secretary Yellen was before this committee last year, I asked her about the resiliency of the Treasury market, specifically about the wisdom of permanently modifying the SLR. She said it's something that the banking regulator should consider. Does the Fed plan to finally look at the SLR?
Yes, I believe we will. I have, for a long time, like others, been somewhat concerned about the levels of liquidity in the Treasury market. The amount of Treasuries has grown much faster than the intermediation capacity has grown, and one obvious thing to do is to reduce the.
Well, yeah, guys. I mean, W day,
leverage ratio.
Another day, buys. Some people. Yesterday was too fast. Not as many people were catching the buys yesterday, but a good day today. Hopefully the buys stick and it swings. We'll see. Well, we have another day tomorrow. We'll be back on tonight. I'm going to wrap it up for the day. Been on for a bit now. How long have we been on here for? 2 hours, 30 minutes. I think we've been on good enough here. Good stream for the day. Almost 3 hours, actually. 2 hours and 57 minutes. Inflation grown. Gold up. The lady yapping. She was yapping. Yeah, she's done now. Her time's up. She got her questions answered. It's on to the next questionnaire. That's funny. But I think for the day, guys, we're good. We're going to be back on tonight. We got another session tonight at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Around there, 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time, I mean. Not 10:30. So that's in like 12 hours from now. 11 hours from now, we'll be back live, yo. 10 p.m. Eastern Time. And then we'll be back tomorrow, same time we started the stream today, around the same time, 7:30, 8 o'clock range, right before New York session. So just tune in tomorrow around the same hour we started today, before New York, 7:30, 8 o'clock, and we'll be live tomorrow as well in the morning. But I'll be back tonight to check out the markets, see where gold's at, see where we're at tonight. Let's see where we're at tonight, folks. And then, yeah, tomorrow we'll be back live. So plug in, subscribe if you're new to the channel. And if you're a new trader, make sure you go through all my videos. Like, if this is your first year trading, go through all my YouTube videos. There's a lot already there. You might hear me say some stuff on these streams that sound like confusing, or maybe some new language that you've never heard before. I would go through some of my videos. Some of those are like on a bit more basic, I would say, some of them. Check out those videos. There's honestly a lot of stuff to learn, a lot of key takeaways, especially if you're past the basics already. You know what a pip is, you know what support and resistance is, you know what candlesticks are, you know what these things are, like some of these basic concepts that you learn maybe in your first year of trading, your first couple months. These videos, there'll be a lot of key takeaways. So I'll go check out those videos. A lot to learn from them. We'll be back tonight. If you're gonna give us key advice when to enter for buy or sell, I've been saying like the same thing. It's the same thing. Like you gotta watch. Like price is probably gonna go up. Like price could just go up from here, right? Price could come back, go up. Like the same thing I've been kind of saying. That pullback, retest. It might be in fruition, guys. This like I wanted to see deeper. But price didn't go deeper, right? So understand, like this is, let's rewind a bit. When price was here where I'm circling, I was saying for anybody who's not in, see if price could pull back and give you a reaction. And then price went up. And I said, okay, now price is higher. And we were on these red candles and I said, you could still look for the same thing. Right? Maybe price pulls back. I said 28.85 or between 28.85 and 75. So it didn't go as deep as I would have wanted it to, right? Like it started a pullback. It could be working that pullback to just go higher, right? It doesn't have to because it came down and it reacted. So showing buyers are still in control. Could just rip up, like I've been saying. It could just rip up, keep going up. Like it looks bullish. There's not really a setup. The setup was the news. That's why I always say. Now you guys know why I trade the strategy I trade for news. That's why right there. Like you guys should have learned a valuable lesson today. Now you guys know why I'm so temporary direction, fake out direction, opposite direction. If the market drops in the first 15 minutes of the news, now that's a reason why right there. Because the news can give you entries. Even when we started the session, I said CPI might provide the entry today for buys. Right? Before news came out, 25 minutes before, 20 minutes before news, I said CPI might be the entry. Right? CPI, if it dumps price, that might be the entry. Right? That's what I said. Right? Take notes. It's a long game. There's a lot to learn. Don't get emotional if you missed a trade. You're gonna miss plenty of them in the future. So if you're like I missed the trade and you're upset, like yeah, it's normal. That's completely normal. That's gonna happen though. Today, that's gonna happen 6 months from now. That's gonna happen a month from now. You'll miss setups. It'll happen. This thing just may rip. I hope it just rips. Notice how I'm not even looking at my trade though. I'm sticking to the plan that I originally had. I'm not looking at it too much. I'm like, oh my God. I don't know how negative it went there. Not negative, but I don't know what the difference was. I know I was up 5K here. I don't know how much I was up here. Probably 2K, 2.8, 3. I don't know. I wasn't looking, right? So maybe like a problem some of you guys might have when you're in your trade is looking at, oh my God, I'm up this amount, and then it pulls back and you're like, oh my God, I gotta sell. I gotta get out in case it goes down more, look for a re-entry, right? Sometimes just gotta stick with the original plan of the trade. Powell, that's funny. Someone tagged me with the Powell. That's good. That's funny. That's a good one. Yeah, that's a good one. Oh, I just saw on Instagram. That's funny. Fucking Powell, man. Donald Trump just bought Ethereum 11 minutes ago. Really? Actually? Did he? Someone bought Ethereum. Liberty, World Liberty. It's not necessarily Donald Trump himself, but Eric Trump, his son, has something to do with that more. Eric Trump, so World Liberty. They just bought another 5 million worth of ETH. They've been bought. World Liberty and BlackRock have been buying ETH. BlackRock's been buying ETH. I mean, if BlackRock's buying, that might tell you something. Like, and Goldman Sachs increases Ethereum ETF stake from 22 million to 476 million in quarter 4 2024. Goldman Sachs they increased over quarter 4. That's crazy. Goldman Sachs. I didn't even know Goldman Sachs. Maybe I knew that. I didn't know that. Goldman Sachs. I'll put that in crypto news. But yeah, like whales are buying Ethereum. That might tell you a lot. That might tell you something. Like if whales are buying ETH, like BlackRock's buying ETH. Goldman Sachs has increased their ETH. So I don't know. Depends on how you feel about that. Like that to me is like if BlackRock's buying something that's been around not as long as Bitcoin too. Ethereum hasn't been around as long as Bitcoin. 2017. Bitcoin's been around longer. They've been scooping this dip, like the ETF and BlackRock's been doing a lot. So maybe that kind of aligns some of the stars for you. Maybe wink, wink, hint, hint. Maybe they know something we all don't. We're all feeling this pain. Maybe they know something we don't. And like if you're I answered your question in a different way. You saw that, right? No, I'm gonna answer. Yeah, like it's kind of like in moments, but like trading is not about avoiding losses. It's learning how to accept them. So it's not about avoiding. It's not about how can I avoid making mistakes. How can I avoid failures? It's more about how can I learn from them. Like it's more not. It's learning how to lose. Learning how to lose. Right? That might sound bad. Right? Like learn how to lose. To get good at losing. It's not really about trying to avoid the losses because they'll come. Right? Learning how to accept them. And it's more about when you're accepting them. It's more about the impact of your losses. Like losses will come, but as long as your losses aren't as big as your winners, then it doesn't matter. Same scenario as FOMC. Remember the FOMC candle? I think that's Oanda. That forms the wick. See, like FOMC candle has a completely different one on Oanda than forex.com. If you look at this is the FOMC candle right here. Right there. Completely different than the one on forex.com on the 4 hour. That's right here. Sorry, wrong spot. Where are we? Wouldn't that be here? Let me see. That candle, 28.50. Or was it 27.50? I'm looking at the wrong spot. Where's that FOMC candle? Right here. Okay, yeah, over here, Wednesday. But even that candle, like that's just a good candle to use even. Like regardless of an FOMC or not, like that's just a good example. Even the FOMC candle looks different. But this candle right here, you can see that to me is bullish. Like the long wick, small body, right? Look at Oanda. So let me remove drawings for a minute. Look at the candle before us. Long wick, small body. It's trying to get above that moving average. You go down there, you have that same, so like there could be a difference how the candle closes on the 4 hour, where it's like it could give you an entry sometimes, like that scenario, or even down here, like look down here how this closes, and look at the next candle. It's pretty steady there within where price closes above. So the wick down, price closes, and then we hold. It holds out, and then it goes up, it comes back and tests that area. But yeah, guys, maybe one day I'll do that. We're gonna be here all year, so we're playing the long game too. So maybe one day, but I'm gonna wrap it up now. Peace out. Just want to mention that before I got off real quick. Check out the videos if you haven't. I would start from the bottom and work your way up. Start with the older ones and then work your way up. There's some good topics there. But yeah, peace out, peace out. We'll be on tonight.